chosen one. There are moments in life, sacred moments, where you didn't ask to be seen, but suddenly everyone's looking at you. It starts quietly, a few strange glances, a slight shift in the atmosphere, and then, boom, the explosion. Text messages flying like sparks in a dry forest, whispers turning into wildfire. Your name lit up like a flare, not in celebration, but in accusation. You didn't change. You didn't start anything. You simply walked in light, and it irritated their darkness. Because chosen one, your presence alone is disruptive. To those living in denial, to those addicted to shadows, to those who built their identity on illusion. Your truth is a threat. Your clarity is a confrontation. Your glow, too loud for their comfort. They couldn't silence your energy, so they tried to rewrite your story. But you already know, the one who needs to lie about you is always the one most threatened by you. While you were focused on healing, they were busy spreading poison. While you were building in silence, they were tearing down your name behind closed doors. But the truth, it never stays hidden for long. Not when heaven has stamped your identity, not when your soul is carrying prophecy. You were never the problem. It was never your voice. It was your vibration. Never your actions. It was your alignment. And now, chosen one, you're standing in the middle of the storm, but you're not afraid, because storms don't scare the sky they belong to. Let me ask you this. When someone lies about you, do you stop to explain? Or do you let the truth rise like the morning sun, silent and unstoppable? Let them talk. Let them spin stories. Let them ignite fires. Because what they don't realize is that all this noise is only revealing the power of your presence. The truth is, you didn't chase attention, but truth has a way of pulling the spotlight toward justice. This is not about revenge. It's about revelation. It's about divine vindication written into your name. And right now, heaven is peeling back the curtain, exposing every lie, reversing every manipulation, lifting you publicly without you saying a word. This is the moment you realize, even when you're silent, God is still speaking on your behalf. Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you feel this moment was made for you. Share this with someone who's been misunderstood but refuses to dim their light. And if you know the truth always wins, type "Let them talk" below. This is only the beginning. Let the fire burn, because the chosen one is rising. Chosen one. They thought no one saw them. They thought what was done in secret would stay buried in the shadows. But what they didn't know is that heaven doesn't blink. You see, while they whispered behind your back, the spiritual surveillance was already rolling. Every slander, every scheme, every attempt to sabotage your soul was documented, not by man, but by the courts of heaven. And now, justice is responding. Heaven's gavel has struck. The divine courtroom is in session. And the verdict? Everything they built on lies is crumbling. You didn't have to lift a finger. You didn't have to plot revenge. Because the one who anointed you also defends you. Chosen one, while they laughed in secret, God was preparing a public reversal, and now the reversal has begun. Friendships they used to destroy you? Gone? Opportunities they stole from you? Reversing. The very energy they drained from you? Returning sevenfold. Because heaven always pays back, with interest. It's like a spiritual mirror has been turned on them. They're watching their own betrayal play out in reverse. The same confusion they brought to your life now haunts theirs. The anxiety they tried to bury you in now keeps them up at night. And here's the mystery they can't understand. You're rising. You're glowing. You're calm. They're falling apart. And you're not even touching them. That's divine justice. That's the power of alignment. That's what happens when you stay in position and let the heavens fight your battles. Let me ask you something. Have you ever watched the very person who broke you start to break down without you having to say a word? That's not coincidence. That's correction. That's the law of the Spirit in motion. Remember this, chosen one. You don't need to defend your name because your character is already testifying. You don't need to clap back because the courtroom of the Spirit has already ruled in your favor. So don't be surprised when doors start closing for them, when people walk away from them, when opportunities dry up around them like a desert under judgment. This is not karma. This is cosmic order. This is divine exposure. And as their mask falls off, your crown rises. Drop a balance symbol in the comments if you believe justice is already in motion. Share this video with someone who's been wronged so they know they're not forgotten. And if you've ever seen your enemies fall without your hand, type "Heaven saw it all." We're not done yet. The truth is only beginning to roar. Chosen one. They didn't betray you because you were wrong. They betrayed you because your presence reminded them of everything they were not. It wasn't your words, it wasn't your actions. It was your elevation. Your light was too loud for their shadows. Your clarity exposed their confusion. Your authenticity made their performance unbearable. They smiled beside you, but clenched their fists behind you. They applauded in public, but rolled their eyes in secret. They were close, yes, but never comfortable, because your greatness made their insecurity echo louder. You see, envy wears many faces. It pretends to support, it mimics affection, but deep down, it plots your fall. Every time you grew, they shrank. Every time you soared, they stumbled inside. It wasn't personal, it was spiritual. You didn't trigger their hatred, you triggered their mirror. You revealed what they tried to bury. You reflected what they tried to fake. And when people are forced to look at themselves through the lens of your rising, they either evolve or they attack. This is the root of betrayal. Not always malice, sometimes mirror-induced misery. And let's be honest, you felt it, didn't you? That subtle tension, that fake cheer, the way they celebrated just enough to look supportive, but never enough to truly mean it. Chosen one, have you ever noticed how someone who was once so close always seemed a little too quiet when you were being blessed? Ever caught a blank stare when you announced good news? Or a backhanded compliment dressed up as support? That's not love. That's competition in disguise. They didn't want your downfall. They wanted your spotlight. But here's what they didn't realize. This inheritance can't be stolen. This favor can't be transferred. This light can't be dimmed by counterfeit connections. You were chosen before they ever met you, and no betrayal, no jealousy, no sabotage can rewrite what heaven has already authored. So now the masks are off, the energy is exposed, and the Holy Spirit is making it clear. Not everyone who clapped for you was clapping from the heart. But don't let bitterness build. Let discernment rise. Let peace be your protection and wisdom be your sword. Because now you see the source behind the sting. It wasn't rejection, it was revelation. So I ask you, chosen one, have you ever felt someone close go cold the moment your season started to bloom? Drop A in the comments if this resonates. Type "I see them now" if God is opening your eyes to hidden envy. And share this word with someone who's just uncovered their Judas. There's more truth coming, but first, let's breathe. Because exposure isn't to shame them, it's to free you. Chosen one, they're back. But don't be fooled. They're not returning because they love you. They're returning because they've run out of energy, out of access, out of supply. You were the source they drank from, silently, constantly, greedily. Your presence used to fill their cracks. Your light warmed the cold places in their soul, but they never told you that. Instead, they drained you and disappeared. Now that the universe has cut off their pipeline, now that their other wells have run dry, now that doors are closing in every direction, they remember you, not for who you are, but for what you carry. So they send a message. A hey, just thinking of you. A sorry I've been distant. A how have you been? But let me be clear, that is not reconciliation. That is relapse. This isn't healing. It's hunger, not remorse, resource hunting. Because when you carry divine oil, you attract both destiny and leeches. Chosen one, you are not a gas station for spiritually bankrupt souls. You are not an emergency generator for people who only come when the lights go out. You are not a refuge for those who left you exposed and now want to crawl back into your covering. They miss the power, they miss the clarity, they miss the peace they felt around you. But peace is a privilege, not a right, and access must now be earned. Let's get real. Would they still want you if you had nothing left to give? Would they still show up if the energy wasn't flowing in your favor? You've healed too much. You've grown too far. You've prayed too long to let familiar faces bring back familiar chaos. Just because the face is the same doesn't mean the heart has changed. Just because the voice sounds sweet doesn't mean the motive is pure. Old presence, same agenda. It's not love, it's withdrawal. Because when someone loses access to their spiritual plug, they come back not to reconnect, but to recharge. Off you. But you've learned now. You've upgraded your discernment. Your boundaries are stronger than nostalgia. Your vision is sharper than memories. So here's the moment of truth. Do you respond with compassion or clarity? Because sometimes, chosen one, the test isn't whether you can love again. It's whether you can recognize repetition dressed as redemption. So I'll ask you this. Are you calm enough to tell the difference between an old connection and an old pattern? If this hit home, type, "My light is not for rent" in the comments. Drop a if you're guarding your energy, and share this message with someone who keeps mistaking guilt for guidance. Chosen one, you're not being lucky, you're being shielded. And there's a difference. What once broke you, what once rattled your soul, what once crept through the cracks of your spirit, now bounces off you like arrows striking armor forged in the fires of destiny. Not because you fought harder, but because heaven drew the line. There is now a divine perimeter around your purpose, a celestial firewall, an invisible fence set by God himself. To say, this one is marked, this one is mine, do not touch. Enemies still whisper, plots are still drafted. But what they don't know is that by the time their plan reaches the gates, it's already been neutralized. The weapons still form, but they do not prosper. The storms may still gather, but they dissolve before they strike. Because your path is now under active surveillance by higher powers. And here's the real truth. The more aligned you become, the more protected you are. Your peace right now, that strange, holy quiet you feel in your life, it's not random. It's not coincidence. It's the sound of angelic insulation. Heaven has silenced the noise. You used to feel every dart. Now, you sense something shift in the atmosphere. And then it's gone before it even reaches your field. That's not numbness. That's spiritual maturity. That's divine security clearance. Because when you walk in your assignment, God walks ahead of you. He doesn't just prepare the table, he clears the room first. Chosen one, you're no longer walking in the ambushes. You're walking with escorts. The haters still talk. The jealous still stalk. The manipulators still plan. But every trap collapses under its own design. Every hex sent toward you gets returned to sender, multiplied. Why? Because there is a holy alarm system now woven into your aura. When foul energy approaches, heaven hears it before you do, and the response is swift. Even people who wanted to harm you now hesitate, now backtrack, now lose sleep trying to figure out why nothing they throw sticks anymore. And the truth is, they're no longer fighting you. They're fighting what protects you, and that's a battle they'll never win. So I ask you, chosen one, have you noticed that your life lately has been unusually peaceful? As if chaos can't find your address anymore? That's not a glitch. That's grace. That's God. That's divine evidence of the heavenly fence built around your life. If this resonates, type "Heaven protects me" in the comments. Drop a shield emoji if you feel the shield, and share this with someone who's walking in quiet miracles right now. Chosen one, there comes a moment when you no longer need to speak, no more defending, no more explaining, no more rehearsing your pain in someone else's courtroom, because your rise is louder than any rumor. Your peace is stronger than any accusation. And your light, it speaks fluently, without needing a single word. This is that moment. You're not rising because you fought back. You're rising because you aligned. You're not climbing because you screamed louder. You're climbing because you stood still when it mattered most. They tried to smear your name, but heaven wrote it in fire. They tried to cast doubt, but God answered with demonstration. And now, those who once rolled their eyes, those who once whispered behind closed doors, those who once watched hoping you'd crumble, can only watch again as you rise beyond their reach. You're no longer in the courtroom. You're on the balcony. Your presence now commands what your voice used to explain. You used to defend your character. Now you just walk in it, because real power doesn't shout. It glows. It moves. It humbles without saying a word. And that's what you're doing now. Every step you take is a sermon. Every door that opens is a testimony. Every breath you take in peace is divine proof that you've already been cleared. You no longer need the approval of the crowd. Your assignment is endorsed by heaven's stamp. Your clarity is sharper. Your posture is firmer. Your silence is sacred. Because sometimes silence is the sound of God speaking for you. So let me ask you this, chosen one, have you noticed that the less you explain, the more powerful you become? That when you stop arguing, people start watching? That when you stop trying to be understood, suddenly your actions are louder than any defense? That's not coincidence. That's authority. Drop a fire emoji in the comments if you feel that shift. Type, "My light speaks for me," if you've stopped chasing validation and started walking in purpose. And don't forget to share this with someone who's done explaining themselves too. Chosen one, your life is no longer a recovery story. It's a revelation, a living document, a walking testimony, not of revenge, but of redemption. You don't carry hate. You carry wisdom. You don't seek payback. You seek purpose. You didn't survive just to settle the score. You survived to become the scorekeeper of a new frequency. You remember what they did, but you no longer rehearse it. You felt the sting of betrayal, but you no longer carry the venom. Because here's the truth. When the universe wants to prove a point, it raises a person. You are that person, not to destroy, not to boast, but to demonstrate. That light cannot be buried by shadow. That peace cannot be stolen by chaos. That purpose cannot be canceled by gossip. You've become the evidence. You've become the exhibit. You've become the celestial case file, open for all to see. Look at you now, still glowing, still growing, still rising, even when they prayed you'd stay down. You don't need closure, because destiny is your closure. You don't need apologies, because evolution is your confirmation. The old energy is behind you now. You've deleted access, revoked permissions, shut down the portal that once allowed chaos to enter. And guess what? Heaven is backing this shift. The courtroom of the cosmos has ruled in your favor, not to shame your enemies, but to showcase your elevation. You are no longer a victim of their schemes. You are a vessel of vindication, a light bearer walking proof that spiritual justice is not a myth, it's a law. And when God elevates you, He does it publicly. Chosen one. Have you felt it yet? That gentle detachment from what once consumed you? That sacred silence where anger used to live? You're not cold. You're clear. You're not bitter. You're better. And now, it's time. No more glancing over your shoulder. No more peeking into past timelines. No more wondering what they're saying, doing, thinking. They lost access, and you gained altitude. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to walk into a chapter so bright that it makes every betrayal look like a setup for your breakthrough? If you feel that shift, type "no more looking back" in the comments. Drop a star if you're stepping forward with healed feet and clear eyes. Share this with someone who's ready to leave the ashes and rise.